Hi everyone, this is Leslie with Indigo Rose Artwork, and today I want to show you how to use our snow globes with your own photos. The one we're going to use today is the Santa holding the snow globe, but these instructions will work with any of our snow globe designs. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your downloads. You will download a zip file and it will download to your downloads folder on your computer. And the first thing you do is open the zip file, and you can see that it has three different files in it. The first one is the layered PSD. It also comes with a JPEG background and a snow globe overlay PNG with a transparent background in case you want to use these in a system other than Photoshop. But today we're going to show how to use them in Photoshop. So the first thing you have to do is extract your files. So at the top, you're going to click on Extract All. It's going to ask you where you want to save them. Usually the default folder is fine, so click Extract, and it's going to show you your extracted files. If you just double click on the layered PSD file, it will open in Photoshop. So here you can see there's two layers. There's the background and the snow globe overlay. You can turn each one on and off by clicking on the little eye. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our own photo and we're going to insert it in between the layers. And the first thing you need to do is find your photo on your computer. Go to the folder where you have your photo saved and minimize your folders so that you can see both the folder location and Photoshop at the same time. And then just drag your photo into Photoshop. It's going to have handles around it. Pull them in just a little bit so that you can be sure that all of your edges are visible inside your canvas. And then we're going to click the check mark to accept the changes. Be sure that your photo is in between the photos of the background and the snow globe overlay. If it's not in the right position, you can just drag it, but it's important that it be in between those two layers. Next thing you want to do is turn off everything except your model's photo. Then you're going to go to your icon that is your select icon. Right now my quick select tool is selected, but any of these are fine. You'll get the selections that you need by clicking on any of these. Up at the top, click Select and Mask. Then click the little drop down by Select Subject. You have two choices. I always use Cloud. It gives you detailed results, and even though it is more detailed, it's not really any slower. So go ahead and click Cloud and then select Subject. And it usually does a pretty good job of selecting your subject from the background. At the top of your panel on the right, you can use your transparency slider to see more of your background or less of your background, whatever suits you. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit so I can see a little bit of the background. And down at the bottom, you want to make sure your output is set to new layer. If you can't see that, your arrow is probably pointing to the right, which means your output settings section is closed. Just click on the little arrow and it'll open your output settings section, and make sure the drop down is set to new layer. Then click OK. And it's going to jump her out to her own separate layer, separate from the background. And from there you can make a few modifications and clean up some of the sections that you don't really like that well. One of the things I'm going to do, I didn't really like the way her hair sticks out a little bit over here. So I'm going to go to my eraser tool, and I'm just going to make sure my eraser set. We're going to put it on soft round and set the hardness to somewhere around 50%. And then I'm just going to go in and I'm going to erase the little bits of hair that I don't like. Just clean that up just a little bit. Down at the bottom where her boots are, where her shoelaces stick out a little bit, it picked up a little bit of the background there. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to delete a little bit of that. You don't have to get it perfect. We're going to use the smudge tool to fix it a little bit more. Next, you're going to select your smudge tool, which is over here. Set your strength to about 15 to 20%, and then you can just go in and smudge the edges. It just smears them a little bit, and you can either smear them in or out. Get a nice small brush, and it just kind of pushes it in so that you can make just a little bit more detail there. I'm going to do the same thing between her shoes. I'm going to just pull that down just a little bit. And I'm going to pull it up a little bit down here and make it look just a little bit cleaner. Down around her soles, I'm going to just smudge those a little bit as well, make them just a little bit smoother. Here, I'm going to smudge that in just a little bit as well. That actually is a pretty good result. So let's see what she looks like when you get her inside of the snow globe. So if you turn your layers back on, make sure she's selected and click Control T if you're on a PC or Command T if you're on a Mac, and you can use the little grab handles to resize her and then just drag her where you want her. So we're going to resize her until she gets a size that you like. Once you're happy with her size and her location, click the little check mark at the top to save the changes. And that is pretty much it. You can see how it looks with the overlay off and with the overlay on. The snow looks like it's in front of her. If you don't like the way she looks inside as far as how light or dark she is, there's a couple things you can do. There's some pretty cool layers that you can add, adjustment layers, and they are in this adjustment layer button down here. So if you click that, you're going to have some options, and levels and curves are both really good. If you add a curves adjustment layer, you want to click on this little arrow right here, which is going to stop it from affecting anything but that layer. So it adds a clipping mask so it only affects that layer. And you can use your little drag handles to change how light or dark it is. You can drag it up and make her lighter or make her darker. You can use your little slide handles and make her lighter or darker, and just play around with it and see what you like. If you get things messed up and don't like any of it, you can just use reset and it'll reset it to before you made your changes. If you don't like it all, you can just use your trash can and just delete the layer. The other one you can use that I like a lot is levels. And again, you're going to add your clipping mask so that it only affects that one layer. And you can just use your little slide handles to make adjustments to how dark or how light your model looks. And again, I like the way she looks just by herself, and so I'm just going to leave her like that and delete that mask. One other thing you can do to make her look just a little bit more realistic is add just a little bit of shadows at her feet. And if you click on the Santa Snow Globe background layer and then click plus, it's going to add a new blank layer. And it's going to be on top of the background but behind the little girl. And so if you click on that layer, go to your brush tool, which is over here, and pick a color that is a medium gray, just any medium gray is fine. Set your opacity to about 25%, and then use a nice soft brush. Make sure your hardness is at 0. And just paint lightly a little bit of shadows at her feet to give it just a little bit more realistic look. All right, that is pretty much it. After you have all of your layers and you like them, you can save your photo if you click File, Save a Copy. You can decide where you want to save it. You want to change your file type to JPEG and click Save, and it will save your photo. Click OK, and you've saved your photo. All right, that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this. Hope you find it easy to use our snow globe overlays, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks and have a great day.